Dr. Rao, distinguished panel members, guests, good evening to everybody. It's always a bit difficult to do a presentation at the end of the session, particularly when you are given a 7-minute. I'll try to make this in 5 or 6 minutes, okay? I just want you to just take a look at the graph that is shown, because previous speakers here, they spoke about how the demographic dividend could mean an opportunity. This same point was also asked as a question in the previous session. If you really look at it, by 2020, India will have 47 million people, additional or more people ready for taking up an employment, provided they are trained. And if you compare that with other countries, you look at US, China, Japan, Russia, UK, and all put together, they're all going to have that kind of shortage, which is close to about 50 million plus. So you can look at it from two angles. Either India will have a set of people who may not have a job, or these are the people who are going to have an opportunity across the globe. And that number is actually, coming from this data. If you really look at it, student enrollment has grown in the year 2011 to about 16 million from 8 million in 2001. The investment has also gone up, and the number of institutions has gone up to about 634 in 2011. This is actually MHRD data from 256 in 2001. What it means is that we are getting more educated people there into the system, and if we put the right input, you will have enough people for taking up those jobs that are available or opportunities that are available across the globe. So what's been changing? We have seen that e-commerce has already changed and it has emerged. People have accepted. I still remember what people were talking in the year 2000 when they talked about the bus. They said it's not going to take off, but it's very quietly taken off. Education delivery in the world is also moving online. There were quite a few questions. Actually, I would love to have a discussion in the online mode. Personally, I have done a degree, a combination of online and offline mode 11 years back. So I fairly understand what it is. So this is moving online, but it may not have moved online in our country, but there is no choice. There was actually a question in the morning. Though there is a slightly different way of looking at it, we can discuss it offline. Now the benefits of this is that high degree of security, improved transparency, you can bring in speed, you can look at anybody wherever he is, whether he is in which part of the world or in the corner of the country, wherever it is, you can reach out to people in very short period of time, greater accuracy. When you have e-commerce coming into your education, when the number of student enrollments is growing, when the requirement is very big, we will come back to the topic of actually the assessment. The examinations are also moving online. All of us are aware that few exams moved online. There were some question marks because the first few exams did not go rightly well, and people just applied a bit of break. But if you really look at some of the prestigious exams that have already gone online, we've just given some logos there. They all have gone online. And there are a number of universities that have taken the examinations online. But this percentage, I would say, is maybe less than 1 or 2%. That's just not enough. If you want to meet the kind of growth that has been shown in the previous graphs, the educators here or the administrators here will have to take that big step. We just want to put some of the myths that have been running there in the industry and then see how the myths are being broken by these people. We are talking about technology-based examinations. First is online examinations are very difficult to be secure. Wherever we go there and then talk to people, this is the first question that come up from a lot of what I would say, the administrators, that it's going to be very difficult to secure. It's not going to be easy because we may not be there sitting there in that exam hall. It is not right in front of our eyes. These are the actual questions that come back. And in terms of authoring, in terms of content, is it safe? Will it happen right in front of our eyes? Who is going to handle it? These are all the kind of questions that we get back. And immediately the comparison goes back to how the paper and pencil is being done, and people try to exactly replicate the same process in the CBT mode or in the online mode. But let me tell you that the online exams are a lot more safer than paper and pen exams. In paper and pen exam, you may have to put an exposure of your question paper content at least 2 days, 3 days before to a lot of people who you believe that trusted need not be. And I'm sure whoever is coming from the IT industry or ICT industry will know that more than 50% of the security risks come from insiders. And within that, quite a few risks, people will never get to know that something was compromised or data was compromised. So I'm not saying that the question papers are getting leaked, but you're putting too much of risk there at stake. When the technology is there, why not we make use of it? The question paper is a lot more secure. You can shuffle it. You can make use of the technology to make it a lot more robust. So in a room, if there are about 30 people, you can give different question paper to each and every person within the same subject. You can jumble it. You can jumble the answers. You can jumble the question paper. You can do a lot. All that is being done by those people who actually we showed here earlier. There are, of course, we've got quite a few case studies, but what is shown here is one large medical university in Rajasthan, where they had earlier the problem of securing the question paper, the printed question paper, because you know how tricky it could be in the medical world. But they have, despite all pressures, they have moved into the online mode, and they are successful on the online mode today. The other one is that it cannot be large and widespread. A lot of people think that we do millions of exams. Can it be this large? Can we reach out to 200 cities, 250 cities? We are in a remote place. What about connectivity? These are the questions that are being asked. Let me tell you that large online exams give great efficiency, and you can do the examination for millions of people. And there are examples where people have done examinations for millions of people. At least to our knowledge, from our side, though I don't want to talk about merit track here, we have done 9.5 lakh exams over a period of 22 days. That kind of numbers are possible today. So you can make use of the bandwidth available through data cards. You don't need to use net connectivity all the time. You can do on a distributed mode and deliver it with higher efficiency. This is what we talked about, a large distance education university. Talked about 9.5 lakh exams, computer-based exams delivered over about 20 days, and 151 cities were covered. And this is being repeated every 6 months once, and the numbers are growing all the time. Students in rural rural locations find it difficult to take the exam. I think these are all assumptions. A lot of people who are who are not used to computers, they think that students who are there in the rural areas may not be comfortable with computers. That has not been our experience. That has definitely not been our experience. And we have done also a lot of recruitment exams for public sector. Based on our experience, we can tell you that the rural mass would love to get into the CBT mode rather than the paper and pencil mode.
Mr. Nagendran.
Yes, sir. 2 minutes. Just closing it. Online examinations about technology. We just want to tell you, this is another myth that is running on. This is what people think. If you have a software, you can just run it, which is not true. Software is only about 25 or 30% of the overall component. There are a lot more tried and tested processes that come into play. Okay, and the people who are involved will have to get used to that delivery of examination. So software is only about 25-30% part. The rest is of administering the overall examination using the right process into the overall examination part. There is another myth. People think that when you talk about CBT exams or not CBT exams, technology introduction, it is only in the MCQ. Need not be. If you've got your descriptive exam, you can make use of the on-screen marking as a solution where you can bring that descriptive paper in front of the marker wherever he is. It can be at his home or in a place or in a lab within the institution or wherever you want it to be. The advantage is that the marker can focus only on the domain rather than thinking about the totaling errors, whether I'm missing a question, how much is this question carrying in terms of total maximum marks. You can eliminate those kind of errors in the overall marking process. If you want to put the answer script into 2 markers without one person knowing about the other one, you can also do that. So, who is a myth breaker? We just want to leave a small thought process here that you need to pick the service provider who has been there, who has been a specialist only in testing and assessment, who has got the presence, if you want, the coverage across the country, who has been used to examination delivery, whether it is a permanent paper or CBT mode, and you look for people who are doing examination delivery, experience in examination delivery rather than a pure software delivery. Look for technologies that has been tried and tested out. Look for innovations that have been done and that are coming up. That's all from our side. Thank you very much.